How much work does it take to create a truckload of new patients? How much work does it take to do our programs? You might by now have listened to all the programs from, doctor referral program, business referral program, being in the newspaper as a jolly good fellow, being in the newspaper as an expert, get the community, the fire chief and police chiefs behind you, and believe it or not, there is more which you're going to learn, such as how to recall patients and how to get patients referrals going. We just haven't talked about it all on those videos, because the most important thing is to become endorsed by the media and by the business people and by the doctors and by the community leaders. That's the type of thing none of you has yet worked at all. So it looks like a lots of work, and let me tell you this. You're right, it is a lot of work. Now, however, it isn't your work. You, the doctor. You, the doctor, are not going to do this work. You're going to do a small, like 1 or 2 or 3% out of all of it. You're going to be the guy here and there showing up in front of the press and approving a press release and little things like that. All else is legwork. Complete and utter legwork. Done by high school kids, college kids, done by entry-level receptionist. That is something you need to remember. We're going to teach you, our materials and our consultants teach you. We tell you what to do. We are the master planner. We're the people who make this huge plan and show it to you and make sure that it makes sense to you. You then go, oh, all right, this is good. We're going to go in this direction. We do this, we do this. It's all laid out with check sheets and with step by step on how to do it. The legwork people are going to fulfill the job. It's people, depends on where you are, whether in New York or in Kansas City, people who you're going to be paying anything between 10, 12, and 13 and 14 some dollar an hour. As I said, depends on the area, who will do this work. It wouldn't matter whether those people actually are going to be quitting every month. Not that they will. I'm just trying to make a point. They are legwork people like McDonald's. It doesn't matter. They do not need to be part of your practice. They do not need to know your patients. They do not need to know your profession. They do not need to be like assistants or receptionists in any shape and form fit into the practice. Okay? No, they are sitting in some corner. Some of our doctors, as they get bigger and do, they rent a 200, 300, 400 square foot office somewhere away from the office. They put a couple, 2, 3 telephones in it, a couple, 2, 3 computers, and literally a couple, 2, 3 people work there like crazy. And they are the marketing department. You might remember somewhere I might have mentioned you're in the business of marketing your business, so you got to create a whole department. How much of those times of those legwork people you need? Ideally, you start off with a full-time person. Second, ideally, a part-time person, 20 some hours. Okay? Do not, on an average, try to use your own personnel to fit in a couple hours here and a couple hours there. I'm not saying it couldn't be done. I'm not saying it hasn't been done. It can sometimes be done. If some of your personnel, if you really have lots of time left over right now and there's a huge money crunch, then you can use some of your personnel. But keep in mind, if they have an hour free here, an hour free there, and an hour free there maybe, and sometimes a slow morning, and then you think that's when they do the marketing, it will not happen. I guarantee you, it will not happen. Your recall, calling existing patients back, doesn't happen because of that. Okay? People rather go and wash your car and sterilize the countertop one more time before they go and do this type of work in between. And besides, you got to give this marketing the importance it deserves. You must promote, and you must do it regularly. And if your staff does it, they're usually not doing it regularly. That's not what they got hired for. They don't like it. This is legwork. This is not glorious work. So go and get some telephone people, telemarketers, customer service type of people. When you put those type of things into the newspaper, they work well. Customer service especially, because they are usually a little familiar with computer and stuff like that. Those are the perfect people to do this type of legwork. That's what it is. Customer service, surveys, finding out data, collecting data, sending out letters, and stuff like that. All right, good. Keep in mind, this is already the first step for you to learn how to become an absentee owner. An absentee owner is somebody who doesn't have to be in your practice. Okay, you might have learned from Mr. Kiyosaki that, you know, there's a self-employed, Mr. Robert Kiyosaki wrote a book, Poor Dad, Rich Dad, and he talks about the 4 quadrants. There's a self-employed person, there's an employee, that's the first step, completely messed up, screwed, will never go anywhere for all purpose. It's just like not what you want to be. There's the self-employed, no difference. And usually the doctors, the lawyers, and the small business owners, they're all self-employed. If they're not there, work doesn't get done. If they're not there, then and they're self-employed. At Thanksgiving, when everyone else is off, they are not off. All right. Then there is the business owner. That's the guy who runs his own business. That's the guy who doesn't work in the business. He actually only manages, organizes it. That's the CEO. That's the guy who, if he's gone 6 weeks, the business keeps running. Right now, if you're gone 6 weeks, the business is dead, most likely, because there's no doctor working it. If a receptionist is gone 6 weeks, the business is half dead. That's in my business. There is plenty of employees. If they are not there, the business suffers drastically. If I am not there, the business doesn't suffer. Okay. Now, of course, we're at a level in our place that if any one of our employees is not there, other people will do the job. You gotta get big, but we have that already in the absentee owner program. You should definitely listen to it. This is a very good first step to train you on how to become an absentee owner program, to put the marketing on automatic, to put the marketing on a level where you start realizing, oh, I am not doing anything and it's happening. Yes. This is very important. So I hope you get that. You know, yes, the program are cumbersome. Yes, the programs, there's a lots of work involved, but keep this in mind. If you're not making the money you want to make, if you do not have the freedom you want to have, then you better change. Then you better change your operating basis. You better change what you're doing, because if you continue to do what you're doing, you will continue not to have money. You'll continue not to have free time. Attracting more new patients is the first place to start, and it doesn't happen with putting more ads in the yellow page and bigger ads in the yellow page. It doesn't happen with putting more flyers out and bigger flyers out and offering more big specials. It doesn't happen that way. And advertising, it will happen, but it's work which needs to be done. But thanks God, it doesn't need to have to be done by you. It is actually done by legwork people whom you pay very affordable money. So let's go for it. Start hiring, start doing the program, and start making money. Do not be afraid of there lots of work, because it's not falling on your shoulders. All right? All the best with it.